Okay, good morning, everyone. I see the time is 10 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. If anybody else joins us as we start, then welcome them aboard as well. Appreciate everybody joining us. Ms. Russell's informed me we do have a quorum, so you should be able to take care of our business today in short order. I'll go ahead and move on and let Ms. Russell call the order, or call the roll, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, board members and others that have joined the meeting. Terry Barnard.
I'm here.
Candace Rose. Jacqueline Dunn.
Present.
Heath Elliott. Sonia Fillingane.
Present.
Jimmy Kitchens. Nick Norton. Tyra Oliver.
Present.
Steve Queen.
Present.
Timothy Ward.
Present.
Tina Piper.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to our invocation and ask General Counsel James Knox if he'll do that honor for us.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your blessings. We ask all we do, all we say, that you be glorified. We pray blessings over each and every board member, every employee. And we just ask in the midst of this service and this time of the year that your blessings continue. And we thank you now for Christ's sake. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Well, welcome, everyone. It's been a few months since we've seen each other's faces on this Google Meet and for board business to be conducted. And I'm glad everybody could join us today. We've got a pretty normal and regular agenda, not too many additional special items on it. I will make one small change and move for Commissioner Oliver. I understand you may have to bug out on us a little bit early, so we'll go ahead and move our new business right after we approve our minutes. If you still need us to do that, Tyrone, we'll be glad to do that.
Yes, Mr.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on, and everybody's received a copy of today's agenda. If you've had a chance to look over that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented for today.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Fillingane. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Bunn. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. And you also received a copy of our minutes from our last meeting, which was June the 16th of this year. If you've had a chance to review those, I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
Move we adopt.
That's the first from Commissioner Ward. Second from Chairman Barner. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. And as I said, we'll go ahead and skip down to the new business item so we can go ahead and take care of that item because Commissioner Oliver's got some other business he needs to attend to, and he wanted to be present for those two items for sure and vote on those. So we'll go ahead and turn over the first item, which is a board resolution regarding the Gainesville field office. And Mr. Guzzi, if you could handle that for us, I'd appreciate it. I think that's all, Mark.
Thank you, Chairman Green. Good morning, board members. Today I'm presenting for your approval a resolution regarding basically a property transaction between the state of Georgia and Marjack Incorporated up in Gainesville. Marjack approached the state asking for the transfer of some land that's adjacent to their plant that housed the Gainesville field office as well as a DDS property as well. In exchange for that, they gave us another piece of property and built an office on that property and retired some debt on the old property for us. And basically, this resolution is your approval of that transaction and authorizing Commissioner Nail to sign all necessary documents to finalize that agreement.
Okay, and everyone should have received a copy of that resolution, the supporting documentation for it regarding this transaction. Commissioner Nail, is there any comments you'd like to make on it before we call for a vote?
No, sir, other than this is just a formality more than anything else, sir.
All right, very good. Okay, well, I'll put it up for a vote, entertain a motion to accept.
Move to accept.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Sonia Fillingham, second.
Thank you, Sonia. Second from Sonia. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. All right, that's been adopted. I'm assuming, Mark, that that'll be circulated to us for signatures, and we'll get it right back to you.
That is correct. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Also, I want to acknowledge, I see Commissioner Kitchens has joined us. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you joining us. I thought I saw you pop in there earlier.
Yeah, I usually just slide in and out.
Okay. I understand. Okay. All right. We have one other new business item. For those of you that are not aware, Commissioner Fitzgerald, Judy Fitzgerald, is retiring, and so she'll no longer be serving on our board. And we'll be presenting a resolution to thank her and signify our appreciation to her for her long years of service on the board. Michael, do you have any comments you would like to make?
I'll reserve my remarks, sir, until my time.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll get to that item also, and it'll be circulated to the board for signature. Okay, thank you. All right, well, Michael, you're up next, buddy. We'll get to your commissioner's report.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I know Tyrone has to go, but I want Tyrone to know, and the entire DJJ family, that they continue to be in our thoughts and prayers regarding the loss of Victor Roberts. Just everything I've heard has just been that he was a phenomenal man, and I'm certain that he will be missed, not just at DJJ, but in the community as well. So I wanted Tyrone to know that we continue to keep DJJ lifted up in prayer, and also the family of Victor Roberts. And I often people say, shouldn't you call him commissioner? And yeah, you could, but I think amongst all of us, titles have a tendency to get in the way, and we work close together. And I just want Tyrone to know that we're with him during this difficult time. And I appreciate his friendship and his continued support, Tyrone. So thank you. And thank you for the resolution, Mr. Chair, for Judy Fitzgerald. Judy has done a phenomenal job in that behavioral health. And a lot of people may not know, but Judy's background is actually a social worker. And you can tell she brought that to the table. And she has done a wonderful job at DBHDD, and I know she can't be here today, but we'll get the resolution to her. But I just want everybody to know how much we appreciated her support of DCS, but also for what she has done in the community. Many of you know that Kevin Tanner is going to be the new commissioner, DBHDD. Kevin and I have a wonderful working relationship. Back when he was in the legislature, we worked on several pieces of legislation, and he is a wonderful individual as well. I am certain that he will continue to be supportive of DCS, just as we will be of DBHDD in his transition role. Legislative update. We have no legislation to introduce. I am not aware of any specifically impacting our business, but I will also say it is early in the game. So you never know. It seems like most legislative sessions, we're in a defense mode, but we will certainly keep the board updated of any pieces of legislation that impacts us. As to the budget, many of you know the governor's priorities and continuing to run fiscally conservative. And in regard to our budget, we will comply with the request that we introduce a flat budget. So there will be no increases and fingers crossed, no decreases. So at least we can operate in the known. I will share, mention in the governor's office, as you know, in the second term, many of his key staff turn over and are reassigned or go other places. So they had asked for a transition document from every agency to include the org chart with names. So we have submitted that. And then they ask us to also identify priority areas. And I just wanted the board to know our 3 priority areas is, and we also outlined what we're doing to address it, but recruitment and retention, I'm sure with all law enforcement agencies, that's on the top of their list. High caseloads. I made a comment to the field yesterday that even though caseloads are the lowest they've ever been, they're still far too high to manage effectively the number needing our services. And also the lack of community resources. And that's not unique to DCS. We're talking about mental health providers in the field, substance abuse providers in the field, especially in our rural areas. I want to compliment the work being done by DCS. It is absolutely incredible. If you get a chance to review our website, please do so. A lot of the questions we get, we simply say, if you look at our website, our strategic plan is there. We pride ourselves on being transparent in what we are doing. But also, if you're, I must admit, I'm not big into social media, but I would encourage you to engage in our social media platform, because you will see so much work being done throughout the state, far more than I can ever do justice on. And that's why I think with the division update you're going to hear, that's where the work is being done. But I want to let you know how proud I am of the agency. We have a mantra: one officer, one family, one community. And we recognize we can't do it alone, and we've got a responsibility to help out others. And I just wanted to give you an update for our Clark's Christmas with DFAX. We were assigned 48 children, and we provided to those 48 children over $7,000 in gifts. Also, our Special Olympics, we participated in the Cops on Donut Shops and collected over $5,500 for Special Olympics in that endeavor. And for our charitable contributions, nearly $9,000 was collected. And while the money is important, I think what is more important is the message behind it, that we're an agency of service and servant leadership. So I just want to commend the entire team. I'd remind you the upcoming GPACS conference, February 22nd through the 24th at Callaway Gardens. I'm sure Aura can provide you with all of the information, but we would love to see you there for, if not all of it, certainly a portion of it. And so we can have some good training and good fellowship. And Mr. Chairman is so inclined, perhaps for our next meeting, although Chairman Barnard is probably not going to like this, I would encourage you to have an in-person meeting. And the reason is, I'm in the office today. We have renovated our entire 8th floor, but we are now on 1 floor. So we basically had 4 other places. We have consolidated into this one. We yielded a great deal of savings in that for the state, but more importantly, the state was transferring from 2 Peachtree, and they actually needed the additional space. So it was kind of a win-win, if you will. But the team up here has done a fabulous job. It's modern. If you're used to having carpet on the walls and coming into a gloomy environment, this is not one of those. So hats off to everybody who has played a role. And if so inclined, we would love to have the next board meeting here and be able to let folks see the wonderful work that has taken place. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to give a special shout out to our senior management team. This is a team of 20 individuals. And when you look at org charts through many agencies and companies, you'll see there's assistants and assistants to the assistants and deputies to the deputy assistant. We run a pretty lean management team with 20 people in senior leadership role of an agency of over 2,000. And they work tirelessly each and every day. And I'd like to take a point of personal privilege. I want to thank our Assistant Commissioner, Scott Maurer. He does a wonderful job. Unfortunately, he has a job after I talk. He comes back and says, here's what Michael really meant to say. But he does it so well. And Scott, I just wanted to give you and the entire team a shout out and let you know how much I appreciate each and every one of you and what you do every day. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my remarks, and I certainly wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the entire board, and thanks to the board for their continued service and support of DCS.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Appreciate that report. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the committee reports, starting with Patrick Halsey, Director of Field Operations. Patrick, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Chairman Queen and members of the board. Happy holidays to each of you. I wish you all a safe and happy and not too expensive holiday season. I'd like to start off by acknowledging all of our new Chief Community Supervision Officers since our last board meeting. As you know, our chiefs are the face of our DCS and our local communities, and it's only fitting that I acknowledge these individuals who have risen to the rank of Chief Community Supervision Officer. So in the Tifton Circuit, we have Michelle Smith. In the Southern Circuit, the new chief is Melanie Hasty. In the Atlantic Circuit, we have a new chief that's going to be starting on the 16th, Shane Sasser. And in the Clayton Circuit, a new chief also going to be starting tomorrow on the 16th is Brittany Watkins. And I'd just like to say congratulations to all of our new chiefs in DCS. Next, I would like to also recognize some of the award-winning DCS team members that we have. So back in October, Andrew Jerem, one of our task force officers attached to the FBI Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, was awarded the 2022 OCDETF, that's a long little acronym there, Outstanding Investigation Award by the Department of Justice. Now, TFO Jerem, he organized Operation Pitch 6, which was a DCS-led operation focused on compliance checks and searches of unknown gang members. Operation Pitch 6 was part of a larger FBI Operation Kick 6 that focused on gang members in the Southeast region. Also, TFO Brad Willis, who is a task force officer attached to U.S. Marshal Service, was awarded the 41st Annual Director's Award from the Department of Justice for his work on the apprehension of, and hopefully I can get this name right, I think it's Zen Wayne Pan. Pan was on the run for over 3 months for the alleged high-profile murder of a Yale graduate student, and he assisted in the investigation of that and getting Mr. Pan back into custody. Also in October, CSO Joshua Gordon of the Northeastern Circuit was honored as the Council of Accountability Court Judges Probation Officer of the Year. We have officers throughout the state that work closely with the accountability courts, and it's an honor for CSO Gordon to be awarded the Officer of the Year award. So congratulations to all of our DC officers and their awards and their winnings. Next I have, as you know, it's been increasingly difficult for law enforcement organizations to hire and retain qualified candidates. And this has been a struggle for DCS as well. So in July, we established a recruitment team to bolster our engagement with potential applicants. The unit consists of the recruitment team manager, Katrina Hall, and 5 new recruitment officers, Lance Robbins, Kyle Aldrich, Dame Brown, Andrew Hauser, and Enisa Sturdivant. And we've already seen benefits of establishing this recruitment team. And since we've established this team, we've had over 1,500 new applicants. And that's been since August 15th. And during that time, we've been able to hire 58 new officers. So I know what you're going to say. So we've had 1,500 new applicants, right? But we've only hired 58 new officers. Well, you got to understand, When you're hiring for that law enforcement position, it's not one of those positions where you can hire on the spot. It takes time to complete that medical evaluation, background checks, and psychological examinations, and things of that such, and it becomes difficult trying to manually track all of that information. So what we also did in August, we implemented an applicant stack. An applicant stack is an applicant tracking system that streamlines communication between our DCS staff, along with keeping the applicant engaged in the hiring process, thus reducing the time it takes to onboard a new applicant. This has been beneficial as well in reducing the number of days from posting of a position to the hire date. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the great work of the entire field operations team in our recent statewide gang operation. Over the week of December 5th, we had circuit officers throughout the state conduct compliance checks, searches, warrant service on gang members that are possibly involved in criminal activity. We collaborated with over 100 of our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. And during the week, we had 655 contacts made. We did 358 searches. We confiscated 98 firearms. We had 110 of those searches where we found drugs, and we had 175 arrests. And most importantly of all of our personnel remained safe and were able to come home to their families each day. Now, this operation shows the dynamics of being a community supervision officer. One day as an officer, you are assisting individuals trying to transition back into the community by assessing their needs and providing them with the resources they need to be successful. And then on the next day, you may have to conduct searches and make arrests on those individuals that fail to take advantage of those opportunities. And it's one of those ways that we make sure that we ensure that we keep the citizens of Georgia safe. And I just like to acknowledge our team do a difficult job, and I applaud all of them for the great work that they do every day. And with that, Chairman Queen, I think that concludes my report for you. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you now.
Anyone have any questions for Patrick? If not, thank you, Patrick. Great report, and I echo what you say. Y'all do a fantastic job. Not the safest job in the world, that's for sure, in this day and age especially. Appreciate you. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to Michelle Stanley. And Director Stanley, good morning.
Good morning, board chair, members of the board, and happy holidays to each of you. Just a few updates I would like to bring to you from Reentry Services. We've had, since we last met, 2 new community coordinators to start with us. Portia Gideby, and she's in the Northeastern Circuit, as well as James Wells in the Chattahoochee Circuit. We're excited to have these 2 join this phenomenal team and the work we do each day. I would also like to recognize and congratulate Community Coordinator Tiffany Taylor and Center Administrator Brandon Henderson of the Rome Circuit on their award recognition from the NAMI Rome for their contributions to community education about mental illness. I'm equally excited that we've been able to re-implement the Maxed Out Reentry program in all the transition centers. MORE is a collaborative program between DCS, GDC, and parole that's designed to allow for statutory and board mandated maxed out offenders to relocate from a prison bed to the transition center up to 18 months prior to the completion of their sentence. While at the TC, these participants are provided with guidance from their community supervision officer housed there to eliminate any barriers they may face to reentering back into the community around obtaining their license, finding a job, housing, restarting benefits, or anything that's needed to address their needs. This program has been staffed with 10 officers and 1 vacancy that's left to be filled, and again is being led by Program Manager Nancy Smith. We continue our community partners and partnerships. We continue to expand with our educational institutions in the community. We had the opportunity to partner with GCHAP, which is the Georgia Coalition for Higher Education in Prison. This partnership not only allowed our individuals to receive educational support through a $2,500 fellowship, but as well as a few full-time employment opportunities as a result of a grant that they were awarded by BJA. We've been partnering with the Georgia General Missionary Baptist Convention on several reentry efforts to include bus passes for our individuals, hosting DRC graduations, providing lodging costs for individuals in need of housing, food, and etc. However, since we last met, the convention has applied to become a RPA tour provider, and the program is going to be called Rebuilding the Walls. They will have 2 locations, one in Culloden and one in Fitzgerald. One location will house sex offenders and the other will serve veterans. This partnership is one of our largest faith-based partnerships, comprising of over 600 churches across the state. And we definitely look forward to continued work and outreach efforts from this partnership. The division continues to also make progress and strides with our mental health housing project with DVHDD and the local CSB, in conjunction with parole and GDC, with dedicated mental health beds for our most complex mental health population that are levels 3 through 5, and being able to utilize funding from the Georgia Housing Voucher Program to help with offsetting costs for housing upon their release. We also continue to work very closely with GDC and their reentry efforts with the reentry dorm, and definitely look forward to that partnership continuing. And speaking of resources, we currently have a little over 2,700 active resources that we are utilizing. Although that's not enough, we continue to knock on doors and work hard each day to increase that number. But with those resources we have, we've been able to service 3,900 individuals through services this fiscal year. As it relates to RPH, we still currently have 46 active providers and have been able to place a little less than 400 individuals since July. With Thor, I think I shared with you the last time we met that we had 89 Thor providers, and we was aiming before the end of this year to reach 100. I am glad to say that we currently have 102 Thor providers on board to help us with structured as well as substance abuse housing within our communities. Lastly, I would like to end my update with a community coordination highlight and success story. We have Southern Circuit Community Coordinator Kelly Saxon, who works diligently in her community to remove barriers that our supervisees face to successfully reintegrating back into their community. Coordinator Saxon received a referral from CSO Abbott for a supervisee who was facing housing instability. Upon speaking with that supervisee, she had recently given birth prematurely, which had led her to her previous housing plan falling through. She and her premature newborn were living outside in one of the local parks. Community Coordinator Saxon called for placement in a local shelter and was not able to secure a bed at that time. However, her efforts did not stop. She called on her community members to assist with a hotel motel stay for this individual that allowed her to be able to remain at a hotel for 2 weeks. Although we knew that she still needed permanent housing beyond that, Community Coordinator Saxon advocated for her to be placed in emergency permanent housing, which now her rent is only $26 a month. Along with the support of the community and local businesses, they were able to outfit her house with new and used furniture, household items, a new washer and dryer, clothing and food, both for herself as well as her newborn. As I previously mentioned in other board updates, we partner with DFACS and we're able to use their gateway system. Therefore, Community Coordinator Saxon was able to apply for food stamps, CAPS, and TANF assistance, and was able to link the supervisee and the caseworker on the line to have approved and available resources within 48 hours. This supervisee and her baby are doing well and receiving all the necessary resources to meet their needs. And this is just one example of the work that community coordinators within the division do each and every day to support those that are returning. Board Chair, members of the board, that concludes my report. Are there any questions for me at this time?
And let me just call particular attention to that. That is a great example. I mean, it's absolutely, I got goosebumps on my arms. And I appreciate you sharing that with us. I really do. And for waving the banner high. But thank you for sharing that. That's a fantastic example.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it as well. It's a great example, and that's just one of the many I know that your folks out there in the field make it happen every day.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. Tim Lewis, Director of the Misdemeanor Probation Oversight Unit, for his report.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, fellow board members.
Hope everyone is well and wish you all a wonderful holiday season upcoming. Currently, there are 67 entities registered with MPOU, 47 government agencies, and 20 private companies. But I do want to make you aware that we have been advised that 2 private entities are not or will not be renewing their registration in 2023, and another is ending their services January 31st. So within 45 days or so, that total number will be decreased by 3 private entities. At this time, there's 788 individuals registered working within the misdemeanor industry across the state. As I reported in June, we became fully staffed earlier this year, and now our new additions are fully trained and ready for 2023. Our senior compliance monitors, Doria Dorsey, Gemma Jordan Holloway, and Alicia Smalley, have done an outstanding job mentoring Larry Richardson, who will be prepared and ready to take on more responsibilities in 2023. And I've been working along with Kimberly Wood and assisting her come ready to take on more of the coordination responsibilities of our training program. Our team of monitors completed all 44 assigned compliance reviews this year. Along with Dee, Gemma, and Alicia, I'd also like to commend the work of John Core and Stephen Phillips. This 5-member team reviewed the cases of 2,927 individuals. A cornerstone of our team, as everyone knows, is Aura Russell. Everyone knows Aura. In addition to her normal duties related to the registration of entities and individuals, this year she was very instrumental in the GBI audit that was conducted, and she's currently in the midst of processing the entity registrations for 2023. Our virtual training program continues to receive positive feedback and be well supported by the providers. This year we held 141 virtual sessions. We had 483 different individuals participate, and our total attendance reached 5,192. I also want to thank and recognize those who joined us as guest presenters this year. For the 6th consecutive year, the Georgia Commission on Family Violence partnered with us, so I want to thank April Ross and Jamila Farrell for their participation as guest presenters. For the 3rd consecutive year, Ms. Lindsay Gardner, the GBI, assisted and conducted our gang update sessions for us. Also this year, we were very, very fortunate to have Ashley Powell, a licensed professional counselor, to conduct a very special session that was focused on matters related to mental health, issues supervising individuals with certain behaviors, and also providing resources in circumstances where maybe a crisis is occurring. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you or the board may have.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the work your unit does. They've done a great job this year.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to the Georgia Commission on Family Violence report. Jamila Farrell is here to present that for us. Good morning, Jamila.
Good morning, Chairman Queen and board members. I'm going to give updates for the Georgia Commission on Family Violence on behalf of our Executive Director, April Ross. So GCFV was one of 7 sites nationally to be awarded funding from the U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women under the Firearms Technical Assistance Project, FTAP, and it's a pilot sites initiative. And this is a significant award that will allow us to develop a protocol for notifying victims if an abuser who would be prohibited under federal law from purchasing a firearm, attempt to or successfully obtain a firearm from a licensed dealer in violation of the law. The project will also work collaboratively with the partners who signed on when we applied for the grant, and to help develop a protocol for local law enforcement to attempt to address firearms related issues and domestic violence cases. We're currently conducting interviews for the domestic violence firearms coordinator, and that person will oversee the project deliverables. A quick update on our annual conference that was held back in September. We had a total of 630 people to attend the conference, and we had a tremendous turnout for our first time back in person since 2019. A few of the highlights from our conference was it featured 3 tremendous keynotes. Notably, this was the first time we had an all-male slate of keynote presenters. We had about over 30 workshops on a variety of topics and trends in the field of family violence. We received overwhelmingly positive feedback and excitement about being back in person. We also had University of Georgia's mascot, Harry Dog, who made a guest appearance and took photos with conference attendees during lunch. And Commissioner Neal, you might also enjoy knowing that April's dog, Hershey, he had a particularly entertaining moment with Harry Dog, so that was cute. GCFB sponsored a donation drive where conference attendees could bring items and gift cards to donate to DV programs. And we had so many items, it was abundance of things. We were able to donate to two DV shelters. We had several of our key partner agencies contribute scholarships for attendees to the conference. So we had a total of about 340 scholarship awardees who attended our conference. And we would like to extend a special thank you to DCS for providing scholarships for DCS officers. Additionally, we would like to acknowledge Commissioner Neal and Chair Sonia Fillingame and several of the DCS team for making time to travel to join us and contribute to a phenomenal event. We certainly hope and welcome you all to come join us again. And the registration fee is waived. Just a reminder, it's waived for DCS and GCFB board members to attend the conference. So if any of you would like to attend, just reach out to myself or April and we'll definitely get you all registered. The next year's conference will be in Jekyll Island, and it's September the 17th through the 20th. And we're currently receiving requests for proposals and until February. So if you all know of anybody or anybody is interested in presenting at our conference, you can submit a proposal because we're always looking for more content for law enforcement and for DCS officers. The Fatality Review Project is an update on that. GCFB's 2022 Family Violence by Numbers, Statistics and Trends in Georgia report is under review. We have also submitted the 2022 special topic brief, and it focused on teen dating violence to CJCC for review. Both reports are expected to be published by the end of the year. And the Fatality Review 2022 year-to-date fatality tracking. There have been 99 fatal incidents and 136 known DV-related fatalities year-to-date. And in 2022, we've had 26 completed and 7 attempted murder-suicides. And it's almost on track to match the numbers from 2021. The Georgia Murder-Suicide Response Network is now going strong with 38 specially trained licensed clinicians. These clinicians are servicing victims and survivors throughout the state with a swell in therapeutic support for victims of domestic violence and violent loss. On August 11th, GCFB officially launched the first murder-suicide support group of its kind in the nation. And since then, 2 additional groups have started holding sessions with survivors. There are 2 additional groups planned to start with start dates in January and March of 2023. And last, our law enforcement education project, LEAP, completed training focused on strangulation with 4 full-day training sessions conducted between November 15th through the 18th in Gainesville, Macon, Albany, and Savannah. GCFB contracted with Alliance for Hope International Institute for Strangulation Prevention to facilitate. And 192 people attended the trainings, including 129 post-certified officers, and participants received 7 hours of training credit. So Chairman Queen, that concludes my report from GCFB. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Anyone have any questions for Jamila? If not, thank you, Jamila. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the report. Okay, we'll move on to old business. I don't see any noted, so if no one has any old business to bring up, we've already completed our new business, so we're just here to adjourn. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a great and happy New Year, and we will definitely see you in the new year. And Commissioner Neal, if you want to schedule the next meeting to be in person, we'd love to come down and see your new digs there and see everyone face to face in the new year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And one other thing I failed to mention, Tina Piper. I wanted to let her know how much we appreciate her. She is the legal representative for all of the public safety agencies. She does a phenomenal job and often is overlooked. So Tina, I just wanted to personally thank you for the good work you do in support of the agency also.
Thank you very much. I've said this and you've heard me say it. My job is easy because I represent the best people. So it is my pleasure and my privilege to work with y'all.
Great. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful Christmas and a great rest of your day.
Thank you, sir.